Okay, everyone, today on the G3 Boardroom, we are going to be unboxing MistBorn.
The deck builder game.
The deck
The
building
deck building game.
I don't know too much about this game. Do you guys?
I don't.
I did a little bit of research on it.
Forget it.
I am a fan of the author who this game is based on, Brandon Sanderson. Read his the first trilogy,
Is that
MistBorn.
fantasy or sci-fi?
It's mostly fantasy, and in the book, it was basically, instead of just like, traveling from one area to the next, like Lord of the Rings or a lot of other traditional fantasy books, it was basically, he was going to have a heist within a fantasy world.
I do like a heist.
So,
I do like a heist.
yeah. So the game does that a little bit. You have like these little mission cards from what I've seen, but we'll find out more as we
Is
unlock
the
it.
book series called MistBorn?
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
It has a choking hazard on it.
Yeah, because it looks like there might be a little blocks.
Ah,
It's like the Hungry Gamer. You see that guy?
the hungry gamers.
I'm gonna let Bob.
Yeah.
You go, Bob.
All right.
I'm gonna sit here and judge Bob.
Okay, time to cut.
Good luck.
There we
Hey.
go.
Not throwing it in the camera.
Why? It's like my thing.
It's in the shot the whole time.
No, you always move it. That's part of the fun.
There we go. The satisfying bro.
Pretty cool artwork.
Yep. Got Brotherwise Games
Brotherwise
ad in
Games.
there. And there's Boss Monster. We all know Boss Monster. Boss Monster's fantastic. Love Boss Monster. Phew.
Cool, nice.
Rule book. For a deck building game that feels like a pretty thick rule book. It's only 20 pages.
20 pages. There are a lot of illustrations in there.
Components. Oop, 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 oop. Yeah, 4 pages are all about the components and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of
so-
big pictures in there.
Yeah, 5 pages. Okay, all right, that wouldn't be too bad for Bob to read because I ain't reading it. Bob can figure that out on his own. Hey, look, Zink. Come back, Zink.
Come back, Zink! Come back!
Yeah, I mean, in the books, the magic systems are it's kind of unique. It's not just like, hey, this guy can do magic. They actually have to like ingest like little metals, and then they burn those metals for certain abilities.
Oh, really?
And the Mistborns are the ones that can use all of those abilities, but then there's other characters throughout the books that only can do like one thing.
So it's a little bit like the boys. It's not just a natural ability to
Well,
fly or shoot lasers. You have to like take something to,
Yeah.
in order to
yeah,
enable
and
that.
Heroin.
Yeah, and as I was reading the books, I'm like, this is like a perfect, system for like a video game or a deck building game because you have to collect those materials to some
second.
degree. Yeah, it looks
Are
like
those
these.
pre-punched?
Got some punchies.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're not missing anything.
Look, punchies.
Yeah,
been
Oh.
punched.
There's massive punchies
Yeah.
missing here.
Yeah, here they are.
Oh, they're in there?
Yeah, those look like the.
But they were like stacked.
Yeah.
So they're at the factory. They're pre-punched and then put into the
And that one looks like
case.
that one goes here.
Oh, okay. I was looking for that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like these punchies are definitely these dials. It's interesting that it's like that.
Yeah.
So
Saved us some
you didn't
trouble.
buy this used.
No.
I know that.
These are pretty much brand new.
I feel like I've been cheated of that much punching. Huh.
Yeah.
I do like punching. All right. So we got some, these are probably life dials of some kind.
Correct. Yep.
Or perhaps, oh, Bob already said correct.
Correct.
I need not speculate further.
Yeah.
So we can play this with 5? Is that how many we can play?
No, I think the one is for the co-op mode.
Ah.
He's the Lord Ruler, so he's the
Ooh.
big bad guy that you're basically. The competitive mode is you either try to complete all the missions or you try to knock everyone else out.
Okay. So I do like knocking people out.
Yeah.
All right. Now these are, well, those would create these dials.
And we get an extra, some spares. It looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some little like spinning posts.
They always hurt my fingers.
Are these like extras then?
Must be.
I don't know yet.
Nice.
I don't know yet. All right. Then we got cubes. Imagine cubes.
Huge.
They look like old-timey Risk pieces.
Yeah.
Old-timey Risk armies.
Like really old timey. See, my earliest memories of Risk were the ones that were like little like Ys for the armies and little like stars for some of the things.
My original Risk thing was probably from the original Risk. My daddy gave it to me. We used to play all the time, but those were the armies.
Yep.
And then when you had
Squares.
like tens, they were like little
Rectangles or
more like a oblong kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so
All right, so this
Got
man has
some
cards.
cards.
You wanted me to go through the
here.
cards?
Sure, if you'd like to.
I would not. Balance. Confrontation.
Cool artwork on those.
Con,
Yeah.
like Gen Con.
Okay,
Okay, so
as in
this
like a confidence game.
this is a deck building game, so you're gonna want to sleeve this stuff.
Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure.
The beers, Pierce.
So I think you have like action cards, training cards. You have allies that you could play, and probably a couple other I can't think of at the moment.
Probably some wound type card.
I
that
believe
just
so.
fills up
Yeah.
your deck.
Smoker. Shouldn't smoke. It's bad for you.
There's a reason it's not just smoking, but
Yeah, but that invalidates my joke.
Interesting.
Pewter arm.
Those are like different factions. Or
Pewter
something?
is not a fine metal.
no, no, it's not. The metals are kind of paired in the books and in the game, like steel and iron have like a push-pull kind of effect. Copper and zinc are kind of like a I could be getting them wrong, and I'm gonna lose my nerd cred card on this. But they have like effects more of like how to detect if people are using allomancy is what the magic is actually called, and then one that can block the copper or whatnot. Right, I think a copper does. It's bronze and copper. They're all paired up on here. Each of these are player cards, I believe.
Are
And then
those
you
the
have, like,
elements at the top?
Yep, these are all the metals. And they give a little bit of explanation there, seeing as I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
Zinc, copper, bronze, tin, pewter, brass,
Pewter is not a fine metal.
iron, and steel.
This is like your training track from what I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
So like every turn you can move it up or you have cards to add to your training. And that gives you, as you go higher up, you get abilities to play more metals at your turn. So you can't just use like all of them during your turn. You'd have to use them sparingly, or you'd have to exert yourself to use them. They call it flaring here.
Oh, okay.
But is there some gunk on that? Or?
Yeah, it looked like a production issue right there. Okay, so these are player things. By the way, since this is a deck building game, like I said, you're gonna want to sleeve it. But it looks like in the card holder here, there's enough space to put a sleeve on it and have them rest nicely. They might rest a little high since new sleeves tend to be puffy, but that'll settle down, of course.
Of course, we've got some odd-shaped cards for the characters.
Well,
little
we're
bigger.
odd-shaped people. This appears to be money. I like money.
Yeah, those are the funding cards we start with.
I like money.
Like money.
Well, you got player cards over there, Bob?
Yep. So you wanna...
Merch. Looks like a Paul Atreides type guy.
It's actually her.
Okay.
Yep. Those are the mission cards.
All right, so there's 4 different characters we're able to play with here?
Yep.
Okay.
4 characters, up to 4 players. You can even play it solo
Now-
against...
Now, are these the main people from the books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Merch.
Marsh. Yep.
Oh, and then here's some.
Those are kind of
mission
like the
cards.
mission cards or the heists per se.
I do like a heist.
Yeah.
Canton. There's a Canton, Michigan. It's not too far from here. All right, then this big stack.
So those look like the edicts. That's for the co-op mode.
Okay.
Those are kind of what how the Lord Ruler can take action against us players.
Oh,
Yep.
seems to be a lot of
Yes.
haze killers.
Those guys, if I remember correctly, were specifically trained to fight mistings.
House Lord.
So like the in the books, you have like the steel pushers and the iron pullers. So they would, in order to counteract that, they would have like all wood arrows. So that way, they couldn't stop you from that. In fact, the pushers are mostly called coin shots because they actually use coins as weapons.
How do you solve this problem? You just throw money at it.
Pretty much. But more like bullets because they'd be able to throw them. Because basically, if anything's lighter than you could push it. And then if it's heavier than you push off of it. So they actually use coins. They throw them on the ground. So that way they can jump up very high in the air and stuff like that, depending on their strengths.
There's some snacks included with the box.
Yep.
All right, so that looks like that's what we got here. Again, this is a deck builder game. We got some punchies. We got some individual player cards. We got some individual characters in there. Fair amount of cards, but they leave you some space in here too, which I'm sure someone has it in mind to expand this at some point.
Yeah.
As all deck builders do.
There's plenty more characters throughout the books.
Sure.
so-
You said this is a trilogy?
Yep. Actually, there's second trilogy too.
Oh, look at that. There's at least 6 books to build from. I'm sure there's more
Yeah.
than 4 characters.
And there'll be another 3 sooner than later.
There you go. Especially if he writes faster than George R. R. Martin.
Oh yeah, he
right?
does. He pipes out a book or 2 a year, which is good.
Now, we did see something about this one at Gen Con, but we
Yes.
didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
really get into it. It was like by appointment only or something when we were
Pretty
there.
much. They had 2 games at Gen Con. They had like an RPG based on some of his other work, and then they had this one. By the time we got there, they were all sold out. So
You see, you had to get it there early on Gen Con, and we were just planning our Gen Con trip for this year, saying how we're going to take it easy.
I'm still gonna get there early though, but
yeah.
first day is Thursday. Got to get there on Monday.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that is MistBorn. That is the unboxing. Looks like we've got an interesting game. I do like deck builders, and I do like getting into games that are steeped in lore. So
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, and I will, we're gonna find out if we like co-op or PvP better
PvP.
here. So cool. All right,
Nice.
new game time.
All right.
I do like new game.
If you've ever heard of this game, let us know down in the comments. Leave a like or a subscribe. We would really appreciate that. We'll see you next time.